Welcome to the Sea Rad podcast. Today we are super excited to have Adam Bartlett on the podcast. He is a surfer from Santa Cruz, a member of the USA Junior National team, and he recently just won the USA Prime event at the Lane. Adam is just an all-around rad human, and we are super excited to have him on here today. So welcome, Adam.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. So here's where we want to start. Where did your surfing journey begin? Could you just tell us, like, how did it begin? Where did it begin?
Yeah, well, it really started just with my family all loving surfing so much. Really, I think I just got it from my dad and my mom who have surfed their whole life. Their family surfed, so it was just like I was always at the beach growing up, and I feel like it was like second nature to just always want to be in the water. So yeah, I feel like I've always been drawn to it, and I've always wanted to be on a board. So
very cool. Where did you catch your first wave? Do you remember?
I think it was I'm pretty sure the first wave I caught by myself was at Trestles in like one of those little inside lagoon things that they have there. So pretty classic. I have a picture of my first wave that I caught by myself.
That's so awesome.
Good. Yeah. So good. And you go ahead.
And then I think my dad was always putting me on the board as a little kid at Cowell's. So that was definitely had a lot of moments there. Spent super little.
Sweet. Yeah. And you come from, like you said, such an amazing family of surfers, like, right? Dad, mom, aunts, uncles, like you guys are you're all phenomenal surfers. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot. My uncles are all really good surfers. My cousins are really good. So yeah, we got really deep in the surfing world.
Yeah. It's so fun to see too, like when all of them come out for contests, right? Like that is such a fun thing to see your whole crew coming out and supporting you. Such a good family.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's so fun. I mean, it's just like another beach day when everyone comes down and just hangs out. It's so fun.
Awesome.
That's so rad. Yeah.
I mean, you guys also have that. You guys definitely have that too at all the contests, which is super, super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your family being this like introduction to surfing and that love for surfing just continuing surrounded by your family, which is so cool. But this love for surfing that keeps a lot of us surfers coming back. Like, what do you love most about surfing?
That's a really good question. What I love most about surfing, I think, is there's so many variables that go into it, and something you're always learning, you're always getting better, and every wave's different. You're never gonna get the same wave, which makes it super fun. Always looking to score a good wave. Like I feel like it can never get boring, really, which makes it. I feel like that's really what I love most about it.
Totally, yeah. And we talk about some of those rad moments with this ever-changing sport. What are some of your raddest moments in surfing?
My most rad moments in surfing, I think there's so many over the years. Gosh, it's hard to really pinpoint one. But this last year, I for sure, when I won the trials and got into the Coldwater Classic and then ended up making some rounds in that was definitely a really good feeling. And then also to win the Prime there at my home break was also just, I mean, those were definitely like really, really good feeling to do that.
Very
That's
cool.
So awesome. Yeah.
And you've been having, right, like this incredible run from the Coldwater to, the last QS, like you're going for it and all your hard work. See, what's kind of cool is, right, you remember those days back when you and Maddie were training with Andre at like 2.6, and like just how much like you have progressed. It's so fun to watch all of that hard work like paying off when you go into these QSs, when you're at these Prime events. So it's really fun from my vantage point to watch you have such good success lately with all your results.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. So what is it like to be a surfer from Santa Cruz? Tell us about that. Any thoughts on what it's like to claim that as your hometown, that to be your place that you come from?
I think it's really special because we have such a. I mean, surfing was pretty much invented in Santa Cruz, which makes it definitely a really. We have super grounded and like we have a super deep. We're super deep in the surfing culture, which is really fun. And I think just, I mean, really, it's like there's not. You have to be kind of hardcore to go and surf in Santa Cruz. Like it's not always the most fun thing to go hop in the really cold water and go surf. So I feel like it's like it's really. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I really like that point of it. It's like anybody who's surfing in Santa Cruz, it's pretty cool, and I love the place.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most beautiful places to go surf. Not many places you can go look at crazy mountains and crazy redwoods as you're surfing. So that's pretty
I love
amazing.
it. It is. That is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, such an amazing place. So in surfing, through surfing, we're curious, what is the impact you hope to have, like on the world, whether it's through your surfing journey, whatever it may be?
I think my biggest goal is to really just be a good role model to other
Mm.
people and like just have a good attitude in everything I do, and definitely just always be trying to have the most fun and be a good role model to everybody.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And you like already are doing that. Like you do that so well.
Oh, thank
I
you.
think of I think of you as like a really, really encouraging person, right? Like you know how to give people really positive, encouraging words. I see you do this. I know you've done this like for Maddie, you know? So where do you think you get that? Like what drives that desire? I think it's probably just like amazing. You're right. You're already a rad human. So it just naturally flows. But do you have any thoughts on like where that comes from?
Oh, thank you. I mean, I've always been a really talkative person, so I'm never afraid to say something. So I feel like I don't know. Then just kind of the community I grew up in. My family is super.
Mm,
My parents are just such good people that it's like. I mean,
mm.
obviously, I'm not. I'm trying my best, but I'm not perfect. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. And that kind of question is almost like me trying to get you to brag about yourself. So I'm not trying to do that, but it's really powerful and it's really impactful. So I hope you do know that like you pay attention to what other people are doing and then you offer encouragement. Like you're watching, you're paying attention, you're insightful. And those things matter a ton, you know, like you've done that even for our youngest daughter, Emery. Like you pay attention and they're like, oh, Emery's surfing so good. Like, wow, Adam Bartlett is paying attention to, 11-year-old Emery's surfing. That's just so cool.
Oh, thank you so much. Emery's a
Yeah.
ripper.
Oh, yeah, and this encouragement and is so rad, and I think that makes you are just such a rad human. And I feel like we all go through, obviously, it's not possible to have this positive mindset all the time. And I know I've struggled with it. And um, yeah, I know a lot of other surfers have. It's a roller coaster. And so I'm curious, what like mental and emotional practices do you have, like in times where things are going really well or when you're struggling mentally, whatever it may be? Because I feel like as surfers, we all like struggle sometimes on the
Hmm.
roller coaster of this journey.
Oh yeah, it's a big roller coaster. It's all. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a real mindset is a real thing. I mean, it's such an important thing too. I really like. I feel it in my surfing. When I have a good mindset, that's when I do the best. Like just through my
totally.
surfing, and I think
Yeah.
one of the ways I've tried to really like help my mindset is just writing it down. Crosby Colapinto, actually, this the beginning of last summer gave me a notebook. Him and his brother made a notebook, which I recommend for everyone to get. It's super cool, and it has like what like are your goals for the day and like just different things like that. That it's like you can like go after your heat or whatever. If you're struggling, just go write it down, And I feel like that really just helps the most for me, at least.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah. So you're saying like you're writing down things that you want to remember, and you're also writing down like after the fact some things like that you can focus on when things, like learning lessons. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely, it's definitely hard to write what you need to work on. A lot easier to write good things, but definitely writing down your feelings, really, like what you're feeling in that moment and how you can improve, and just I think definitely like later it's better to go back really and look closely at what you did wrong. Maybe for me, that works best for me, is going back later and looking at it, and maybe not right after, but a little bit later I go back and analyze what I did wrong.
Sweet. Very cool.
Yeah. I love journaling as well, and I feel like it's been so helpful for me, like even on the days, like the good days and the bad days, like just writing down like what even went well on those days that like maybe mentally whatever surfing wasn't so good, like what can I still find that felt good or went well, and then what can I improve on for that next day.
Yeah, so true.
I love that.
What so if you were talking to someone who wasn't feeling so confident, like is there any advice that you think you could give someone who's not really feeling confident, like about their surfing? Let's put it in that context. Like say they haven't been surfing well, or they haven't been competing or getting the results they want, and they're feeling like a lack of confidence. Do you have any advice for those people out there listening that might be in that place?
I feel like really just like not dwelling on it too much, and just like I feel like really just like realizing like why you love to surf, and like realize like you're getting to like so many people would like love to be going out and doing what you're doing. Like it's definitely like, and you could like, I mean, it's like your surfing's always going to be like, you're always going to be getting better. And I mean, you can't really just dwell on a bad little, because last summer I was having a huge growth spurt, and my surfing like fell apart for a little bit. Like it felt like, obviously, I mean, I wasn't surfing terrible, but had some moments where it felt so like out of whack. And like, I really just had to realize like, yeah, you kind of just got to push through those moments and realize like, I mean, it's like you're getting lucky to be out here surfing. Like we're so blessed to do what we get to do.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like keeping a really, really big perspective, right? Not getting so narrowed on one specific result. You're saying, man, look at this whole thing. Look at the whole thing we get to do. Like, take the big picture and look at that. I love it. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've faced challenges like that, or at times where it's like frustrating, where my surfing isn't getting better, and it's like it's hard to face those moments sometimes.
Like journaling and just like, yeah, definitely looking at the bigger picture is huge. Like don't get stuck up on little things. Like, I mean, surfing is such also like, so like your surfboard, your fin, like everything just comes into it. Like so many small factors. It's like, I mean, I feel like you can like, there's always going to be a bad session. Like you're never going to have a perfect session. So just looking at it like that.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love it. 'Cause all that stuff is just like, you're talking about, how do I think about what's happening? Right. I could think about it this way. Like I could have more of a negative sort of view of what's happening, or I could just kind of shift it and choose to say, okay, well, what is going well? Or what can I do? Or like you said, the summer when sort of like you had a growth spurt, and it's like, well, maybe there was a part of you that was like, okay, I will get through this. I will relearn what this feels like. So I love that, because that's really what you're saying is, hey, there are these moments when you can choose how you want to look at something. And so when like you're in the middle of a heat and things aren't going your way, right? What do you do to reset, refocus? Now, I think for those of you who don't know Adam, I think Adam is like, you are one of my favorites to watch in heats, because I think you're so good at surfing heats. Like I don't know what it is. I don't want you to give away your secrets, but What do you do like when it's not going well and you have to reset and refocus? Because didn't like at Pismo you needed a wave in like the last couple seconds in a certain heat and got it. I just that was the last time I remember watching you do this.
Oh yeah, that was a nail biter right there. Probably gave my mom a heart attack back at home watching on the TV. Yeah. That's a really good question. I mean, because you need to be so level-headed in surfing. I feel like it's really like, for me, my favorite, like, this is what I've learned recently. I feel like my heat strategy has gotten a lot more sound, because like I'd draw them out when I was young. Like I'd just start going for airs when I needed some big scores, like just like full ground things that are like I don't know, probably like definitely didn't need to do when I need like when I'm only like I need a 9, but I could break that down and get 2 6s. Like so it's like just certain things like that. I feel like knowing like if you need whatever a 14-point total or something, you gotta look at it as 2 7s. Like things aren't all like they're not unrealistic. You just have to like it's because surfing it's so competitively it's always your top 2 waves, so that makes it like it's definitely like I feel like staying level-headed is the biggest thing, and not just like thinking you need to just like go for broke, you know.
So good.
Yeah, because those moments are like you're sitting there, you need a score, and that can be filled with so much pressure and anxiety, which leads you the opposite direction of what like you need to be doing, staying level-headed and calm.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that.
exactly.
Yeah.
I also like too how you just broke that down, because for all of us, right? Maybe surfing's not your thing, but what you just said was really key is like, well, just break it down into a small little thing to do. Hey, I just need this and I need that. You can break it down. I just need to catch a wave. And then, but it can seem overwhelming no matter, whether we're going for a surfing goal or a business goal or, a health goal, whatever it is. It's like you're saying, hey, just break it down. Stay level-headed. All you need to do is this. This is the next little thing to do. And, maybe that's part of your mastery when you're in a heat is just like level-headed, get the wave, then, do what you got to do. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, of course. I mean, it can be I like what you said, how it can be applied to life. Like surfing can be applied to life in so many different ways. That's really cool how you mentioned that.
Yeah, totally. So on this journey that we're both on, who are some rad humans that in your life that have helped you on this journey and who inspire you and why?
Some rad humans that inspire me. There's a lot. I mean, there's so many cool people in the
Totally.
surfing world and just around, yeah, everywhere. There's just so many cool people. I think Nat Young, definitely coming from Santa Cruz, is a huge inspiration and role model to me, because I mean, to show that you can do it coming out of Santa Cruz is so huge. Because I mean, there's been a lot of like pretty big time guys, but I mean, Nat Young shows that you can be at the very top level in still like, so that's pretty cool. I feel like he's really inspired me, and he's so inspiring to the youth here. And then same with Kalohe Dino too. Is just he like pushes the next generation so hard, which is so cool. He's not he's so not self-centered. He's like pushing it for the next generation, and still ripping so hard. So that's pretty cool. Definitely inspiring.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. It's always so important for us to like have those people who inspire us, right? To be surrounded by people who sort of like can breathe life into us to like keep going. You can do this. So I love when you talk about these two people, and I'm sure there's, like you said, there's so many amazing people around you who are like inspiring you, encouraging you, keep going. You can do this. But for all of us, right? Like that is so key, is surrounding ourselves by people who are going to do that for us so that we can go after and get the goals we want. We can become the people, right? That like we can be. The potential of who we are can come out. So I love it that, you look at like Nat Young and say, look, he did it. I can do it. Okay, let's do this. So that's so cool. Yeah. Are there any, like, as we kind of wrap up here, are there any sponsors, like supporters you want to thank, kind of give a shout out to? Like tell the people listening, like who are some of these brands that like help you succeed, you know, at the top level that you're at?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, specifically my parents are definitely driving me to Southern California like so many weekends is no joke. And
Yes.
all my sponsors, Quicksilver, Play Bigger, Pacific Wave, Oakley Surfing, so Oakley, FCS, yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
all my sponsors for sure. Lost Surfboards making me like so important. I mean, pretty much there's so many people that come into it, like just I mean, I definitely have such a good group of people who help me out, so I'm really stoked and blessed.
Sweet, man.
That's so rad. Where can people follow you, whether it's on Instagram or?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I think Adam Bartlett _ and on the WSLQS, you can watch those contests live. So those are always fun to watch.
Next,
yeah. Awesome.
What's the next QS real quick you're gonna do?
I think my next QS will be I'm gonna try and do the first contest of the season at Jack's in Huntington, the Jack's Pro, which is a 3,000. So that'll be a huge one to start off the season.
Sweet. Love it. Can't wait to see you. So we can all watch you online for that Jack's Pro when it comes up in April.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Adam, for being here and sharing. We loved having you. So thanks for being such a rad human. We will see you in the water.
Oh, of course. Thank you guys so much for having me. Stoked.
See ya.